Alright, so yo, and welcome back to some Mabinogi, you guys. As today we start the quest called Dark Dreams of a Winter Wind, which is a series as a quest for Glenn Bearna, I guess. So I say I have to talk to Duncan. Unfortunately, this and Divine Knight for G19, right? Unfortunately, the two common NPC for those are Erwin and Duncan. So I talked to them because I had to progress a different quest. You guys seen sometimes when I come back talk to Duncan, and I believe it was 2 episodes ago when I talked to Erwin and then progressed the Divine Knight when I didn't mean to. Hopefully it doesn't progress. I wish there was a way to like shut the quest. Like, hey, I want to focus on this quest. Do not let me progress any other quests, like some other games do, so we don't like have to worry about missing dialogue or anything. But I believe Dark Dreams of Winter Wind is like, well, I forgot what's the quest called? The one where I cried like a little girl for the guy who I don't think deserves it. For the Crom Bass quest line, I believe, right? So I'm assuming it's gonna be difficult like that, but unlike that, I now have Sacred Garden, which is so tanky. Even though it's not a class I'm maining. I decided, since everyone told me Explosive Vanguard is so bad, I'll probably just give my things to complete that. I mean, it is what it is. I'm here for fun, to have fun. So, yeah. Okay, today we found a child collapsing in the vicinity of Sidequest. That alone is reason for concern, but I can't shake this ominous premonition that there's more to it. I hope I'm wrong, but all's the same. Would you come to see me in Tir Chonaill? So we already talked to Duncan, so we just gotta progress the quest then. Find this, examine the unconscious child. And then by doing this, we should unlock the alchemical stinger, right? I think it's what it's called, or sharpshooter or something. Oh, god damn it. I didn't... Oh, Ursa, Chief Duncan must have sent you. I laid the child down over here for now. There's been no change in his condition. I'm sure you heard, but even a thorough examination didn't turn up anything peculiar. Would you care to take a look yourself? Examine the unconscious child on the sofa. Do you need any more help? Nope. This is the unconscious child that Duncan mentioned. You feel compelled to examine him to see if there's anything you might learn. Check the child breathing and pulse and look for any signs of external trauma to assess his condition. Examine his head. The slow rising and falling of his chest as he inhales and exhales seems no different than that of someone who's asleep. At the very least, his breathing appears stable. Check the child's breathing and pulse and look for signs of external trauma to assess his condition. Examine his chest. The boy's heart beats with a regular rhythm. His pulse is a bit sluggish, but entirely in line with the heartbeat of one fast asleep. Check the child's breathing and pulse and look for... Okay. You see no signs of bruising, scars, or any other external trauma. Even after examining the child, you couldn't find anything peculiar. If you didn't know, he's been rendered unconscious somehow. You swear he was just sleeping. Your examination may not have uncovered anything, but all the same, you should let Duncan know. Alright, let's go back to Duncan. I wonder if it's like the sleeping princess, the Snow White syndrome, whatever it's called. It was in an anime. I think Solo Leveling has something like that where they fell unconscious due to mana or something. Yeah, because they're for being in proximity of people who have mana, cause them to go into like a coma-like state. And then there's another anime that did something like that. So what do you think, Ursula? Did anything about his condition strike you as unusual? Give Duncan your assessment. Tell Duncan what you observe about the boy's condition. So you didn't find anything amiss either, then. By every symptom we can observe, the lad has simply fallen asleep. At least that's the most I can make of it. It's frustrating having so little to go on. There doesn't seem to be any pressing threat to his health, and I'll take a silver lining where I can find one. Still, it disturbs me that nothing that's been tried so far has been able to rouse him. There's more going on here than meets the eye, Ursula. Someone has harmed this child, but we don't know who or why. There's no reason a healthy young boy would simply collapse on the side of the road, and he's been unconscious too long to presume he simply passed out. What vexes me is that there's nothing we can point to as likely cause. Trevor, for what's the closest, he's the one who's first found the boy, and even he swore he didn't see or hear anything out of the ordinary. Duncan pauses for a moment, contemplating before continuing. If you happen to find anything that might shed some light on this, in your wanderings, would you be so kind as to come back here and let me know? Right now, I can't even figure out where to begin. I have a feeling that somewhere out there in Ula, someone knows something that would point us in the right direction. And you, my friend, have contacts in many and very social circle, but that even an old man like me could only begin to imagine. I'm sorry to place this burden on you, but I'm afraid the gods of the northern wind has taken a running head start this year, and I'd rather not let anyone remain unconscious in such a frigid weather longer than they must. Let me know if you discover anything you think may help. Not in agreement. I feel like the gods of the northern. I feel like, wouldn't that be a clue? Because isn't the kid wearing winter or, well, warm clothing? Duncan gives you a warm, generous smile that always makes it so worthwhile to do whatever he asks you to do. I mean, he's our bro. After a moment in thoughtful silence, Duncan continues, his voice solemn. Is there anything else you wish to ask? Unfortunately, I don't have much than you do at this point, so there's not much to tell. This incident... Okay, I was holding a revive recording. This incident weighs heavy on my heart, and perhaps talking it out helps ease the burden. If you're worrying about what to do, I recommend looking at all things you could check on and thinking about which may be most likely to yield leads or useful information. There are many places it may be worthwhile to investigate. So the first thing you need to decide is whether you want to start looking into a nearby location first or travel further afield and work your way back. There's nothing you can accomplish, no matter how big it might seem. Just a matter of taking things one step at a time. And with enough steps, you turn around and see how far you come. Just like how you probably do when you look back on the beginning on your journey. Now let's see. Where do I think nearby place to investigate? Well, there's nowhere closer than right here in Tir Chonaill. It may be prudent to take another look around the village, take stock of all the small things that's been going on. Our town probably looks different to your eyes, unlike our resident. You travel far more widely and had experience even some of the boldest adventure couldn't match. As for where to travel further out, I advise starting somewhere that would likely have pertinent information, preferably a place where those privy to such information would be willing to share it with you. Think of a place that has some kind of organization that guards or oversees the city. You're probably on friendly terms with more than a few such group. Tar's Royal Guard comes readily in mind. Also, as I recall, Ime Maka maintains a town guard that patrols the city for public safety. If anything strange significant has taken place within their jurisdiction, I'm certain they would know. When odds or frightening things happen, residents look to those in position of authority for aid and guidance. Where do you think of going first to seek out information? Somewhere nearby. Tir Chonaill and surrounding area is where the incident took place. Perhaps asking around in town or even south in Dungo Isle will turn up some useful information. It might even be words or something similar happening to someone else. After all, suspect always return to the scene of the crime, right? Doesn't hurt that you're already here too. Investigate nearby place. I feel like since it's here, I feel like we shouldn't venture too far, right? Because I feel like if it's happening further, then Arrowwind will have let us know. You decide to search nearby place first, starting with Tir Chonaill. I know that looking at a plan taking shape. Good, good. Go where your heart leads you. Man, they're really going ham with this, like, with this camera. Oh, it's a deer. That has crystals. Do you think it's one of those legendary deers that, was it the black and white one that brought Mari to Duncan? I guess this is where they learn how to do cameras.
묘지를 너무 오랫동안 그대로 둔 것 같다.
What's that sound? Oh. Rumors heard nearby. I have 4 spirits, I do. Alright, let's go talk to Dillies. Ah, you came to check on our conscious patient? They're no longer staying in the clinic. Sorry to disappoint you. Why? Well, there wasn't much I could do for him, so I decided to move him to a more comfortable place to rest. Like you saw, the strange thing about his condition is that his breathing is very stable. There's no huffing or puffing, no groaning or any signs of pain, and no shortness of breath. Whatever is affecting him, his condition seems no different from simply being asleep. But it sounds like Trevor tried several things, none of which I would have allowed had I been there to wake the child before bringing him to me. How did he ever think of something like that would work? Anyway, since this child isn't exhibiting any symptom, it would not surprise he also isn't responding to any treatment. Carefully administering a potion, checking his body for any signs of trauma, nothing got me closer to a proper diagnosis. In conclusion, none of the treatment I tried showed any signs of rousing him. On top of that, it has been so oddly cold here lately that I'm concerned remaining consciousness for too long may have negative effect on his long-term health. The cold. So maybe it's the northern god that Duncan mentioned before. I feel like that's not normal. Maybe the cold is putting them into a coma? Maybe you weren't immediately aware of it, Ursula, but the village has been unusually chilly lately. Those who spend the better part of their days outside have all noticed it. They come in coughing or sniffing, always saying things like, "It wasn't this cold last year, was it?" Cough and runny nose are simple enough to adjust, but there's not much I can do about the weather. I swear, there's another one in here every day or two, blowing their nose and coughing. And I say the unseasoned cold has something to do with it. It's not that treating them is difficult, that's what I'm here for after all. But anything that causes a spike in illness in the community concerns me. What about the child? I move him to the inn. I feel the best thing we could do for him right now is to help him maintain a stable body temperature. And even I have to admit that the inn is much a warmer, cozier place than my clinic. Anyways, if you'd like to check up on the boy yourself, just head over to the road to the inn and tell Pias, Pyras, I sent you. The unconscious child was moved to the inn, where a warm fire and plenty of blankets should help him maintain a stable body temperature. Ask Pyras at the Tir Chonaill Inn if there's been any changes in the child's condition. Alright, to the inn, where the guy gave us the Dark Knight book or armor piece, right? Welcome, yourself. What brings you to the inn today? Ask about the unconscious child. Of course, Dilly asked me if I had an open room where he could rest, so I put him in a cozy bed and tucked him in. I lit a small fire too, to make sure the room stayed warm. Inns are first and foremost a place for travelers to rest, but as an innkeeper, I feel it's also my responsibility to provide a comfortable place for people who are sick or recuperating. Even if I didn't have an empty room, I find some way to make it work. I check in on him every now and then, haven't really noticed any change. I'm afraid so all I can do is throw another log or two in the fireplace and try to make him comfortable. At least his condition seems stable. Speaking of the fireplace, that just reminded me of something. Do you have any time to help me out with a little errand? I meant to get around to it, but the cold weather sort of made it a priority now. You see, I found myself thinking about what that boy might look like if he was out there, awake and running around like the others his age. He reminded me a bit of our shepherd Dion when he was a few years younger. But even this boy is better dressed for the weather than poor Dion. Around the end of summer, Dion asked me to teach him how to build a good campfire, since he worries his sheep might get cold when the winter chill rolls in. I never did get around to teaching him, but even if I had, I don't know that he would have really picked it up that easily. And well, Dion is more likely to be freezing his bum off out there than any of his flocks. Sheep have warm woolen coats to help them get through the cold months, but Dion's out here in his thin shirts and shorts, always, even with the cold wind coming in off the mountain. Dion still is a growing boy himself, so I feel like he ought to bundle up if he's going to stay outside like that. As I was tending to our conscious guest, I started to feel guilty about never at least trying to teach him a bit about proper fire building. Doesn't he has a proper fire right there? If it wouldn't be able to, if it wouldn't be too much trouble, could you break out your needle and thread to make Dion something he could throw on over his clothes? It doesn't need to be perfect, just something serviceable to keep him warm. Ursula, if I could tell I can tell you have enough skill with your yarn and thread that you could probably dress in the lad 5 times over. That's one less thing to worry about. Nora sells a few sewing patterns on the side, so you can pick up from her. If you wouldn't mind, could you make a set of cloth mail and give it to Dian? He can be a bit stubborn if he thinks you're telling him what to do, so I don't know whether he'll wear it right away. So I'm betting that even if he doesn't, another day or two out there, and this cold will make a warm layer. Will make a warm layer like that seem more and more appealing. Perhaps ask you to make a garment that would help Dian warm in the frigid weather. Use tailoring skill to make 1 cloth mail and deliver it to Dian. You can purchase the tailoring kit and sewing pattern needed to craft the cloth mail from Nora. Alright. It's been a while since we had to craft something for a quest. I think he's at cloth mail, right? I need 5K. Finest fabric, thin thread, and braid. Well, she does not have it. I guess this is where I cut away, right? Well, I'll be right back. Alright, so I'm back. I just finished crafting the armor, the cloth mail. I don't think it's that great. I think I did a poor job on it. But it is what it is. Teeth chattering. What's up, Ursulif? You have crafted a suit of cloth mail as Piros requested. Which cloth mail do you want to give? I wonder if you could have just bought it and just handed it to him. Is this a cloth mail? Why are you giving this to me? Wait, Piros told you he's been watching me shiver out here, and he thinks I need to put on something warm? I'm telling you, it's totally unnecessary. The hot blood of youth is like a shield against the cold. What are you, my guy? Rock Lee? Achoo! Yeah, I'm protest, but he isn't fooling anyone. Well, I guess since you want all to trouble, I'll take it. What's Priya's thinking? I told him my sheet were cold. Why did he have you make clothes for me? All my sheets from the Horus old rams to the low lambs are out here shivering in the winds like they're got anxiety issues. I bet it's all those Malaysians. See coming to shear off their wool practically as fast as they can grow. Must be the cold. It's not extreme, at least not yet, but the temperature are definitely low for Tir Chonaill at this time of year. It's true that the sheep are probably colder without their wool, but even then, would they really be so cold as to shiver? It's weird, huh? I mean, it's not that cold, and she basically live outside unless you let them inside. Do you think it really is cold here, and we all just got used to it because we live in the north? You know, I tried to make a campfire to keep warm, but... well, I'm not giving up on my fire building dream. Yeah, I bet it didn't work this time because I didn't use the right kind of firewood. Next time I'm gonna get me some fine firewood and make the best fire Tir Chonaill has ever seen. Achoo! Take another stab at it as soon as I get my hands on some more firewood. Yeah, that'd be pretty nifty, huh? If only I knew someone who could bring me some firewood. Someone totally cool whose days just aren't complete if they haven't helped someone out. You can practically feel the unexpected gaze boring a hole into you. You discover that Tir Chonaill weather is colder than it was at the time last year. Dungo Isle isn't far down the southern road, so you decide to check if the cold wind are as noticeable there. Visit Tracy and Dungo Isle and ask them if the weather has seemed usual lately. While you're there, you can pick some firewood for Dion too. Yeah, I can do that. Unless he needs like fine firewood. That's gonna be a while. Well, look who it is. How's it going? Hold on, I can turn a fan. It's making me cold. And this story about cold is making me feel chilly. It doesn't feel as frigid in Jungle Isle as it is in Tir Chonaill. Ask about the cold weather. Cold weather, well, we do sound like a northerly wind blowing down from the mountain. But it's never really felt all that cold to me. Maybe it's all in the hair of my chest. I mean, if the weather were really taking a strange turn, our raccoon population would have shown signs of first. But there they are, carrying on like they always do, so I figure there's nothing out of the ordinary going on here. So now that I'm thinking about it, maybe there aren't quite as many of those ring-tail bandits skittering around as usual, huh? Appears that the prodigious raccoon population from which Jungle Isle is known amongst Malaysian has indeed decreased a little, perhaps. Aha, I was pulling your legs there. Ursulith, you know me, I like to keep things light. Never took you for someone with interest in the lives of raccoon, but they can be adorable little boogers when they're not trying to steal my lunch. Tracy may have been joking, but you seem to sense a fewer raccoons around than maybe you last passed. Though the area, setting aside Tracy's jest, you see what other information he can provide. All joking aside though, I noticed some more folks coming down from Tir Chonaill to buy firewood. Guess there must be a cold snap up there or something. Let me guess, the village sent you down here on some quest to get firewood, right? Well, I can guarantee you one of the residents make the trip here soon enough. And when they do, I'll send an extra cold of wood back with them. Don't you worry, but I had got it covered. I know the wood selling business backward and forward. You won't get customer service like that from any other lumberjacks, I tell you what. Whoever rendered the child unconscious is nowhere to be found, but you learn that Tir Chonaill has been experiencing some unseasonably cold weather as of late. Given that Jungle Isle is warmer than Tir Chonaill, you deduce that the epicenter of the cold wave is somewhere to the north. Bro, at this point I would have been like, it's probably from the side snatch up place. It's literally snowing there. Damn. If this feels like one of those dumb moments where the plot is making you dumb. I feel like that's like probably the first place I will check, you know? Maybe it has something to do with Tarlac no longer being there anymore. Words travel from afar. Oh. Hold up. No! This is what I was afraid of. I was afraid something like this will happen because of us talking to Erwin for G17 that it will side progress the Divine Knight. God damn it. Hello Malaysian. So who am I? I've been watching you for a long time. Could you please give me your hand so that I could have a handshake and touch your hand with my hand? What? Please don't run away. I'm a huge fan. Alright. Please don't progress unless I talk to you. Man, I wish there was a way to lock a quest like, hey, don't progress this quest. I'm trying to do this quest. With his charred skin from his days on the battlefield and a black cape darker than Palala's sunspot, he emanates the dignity of royal guard. Well met, so what brings you here today? Has anything out of the ordinary happened? Have you seen anyone suspicious? This first one. Well, when the guards are on patrol, they tend to focus their attention on any potential influence that might bubble up from the shower round. Can't say for certain to what extent they are aware of minor goings on around the city. Frankly, nothing comes to mind, but if you're looking for into this personally, it must be a matter of no small importance. Would you mind sharing the details with me? Tell what happened to Tir Chonaill. Tell Pam about the child who fell unconscious at Tir Chonaill and has yet to rouse, as well as the strange chill that hangs over the area. I see. I can at least tell you that nothing like that has happened in Tara. At least no word has reached me of any suspicious incident or individual. I'm sorry, I couldn't be more of help. There's little meaning in minding the health of every dog or chicken scratching around the street. But I dare say that if anyone in the city were to fall unconscious and could not be awakened, even by trained healers, we would surely have heard about it. We actually had something else come up recently that has commanded the bulk of our attention. So it may be that and focus on that, we failed to notice something concerning act we otherwise would have. Something else. Indeed, a civilian report seeing some sort of giant animal within the city walls. There's no good reason for a wild beast to venture into a man's domain, and it was troubling that none of the watch saw it enter or leave. So we immediately tried to ascertain whether the Shadow Realm influence played a part here. We received a similar report from Tolkien, which only served to buttress my concern regarding a potential connection to the Shadow Realm. Now, if such a large animal made a leap capable of clearing the city walls, one would think there would be much more than a few eyewitnesses. However, only a handful claims to have seen anything. In those testimonies we do have on record shows a great deal of variation where they claim to have sighted the beast. Are they like jumping realms or something? Maybe they're from the divine realm and they're like jumping back and forth between the two planes. I must confess to being a bit flummoxed, Ursulith. Nothing can abruptly appear and vanish like that without the use of teleportation magic. However, we found no abnormal activities in the Shadow Realm that could explain such behavior, so I can't say whether these sightings are connected to it or not. And with too few clear accounts of the beast's appearance, we can't even say whether it originally came from the Shadow Realm. If the signs are to be believed, it has apparently showed up all over town. Perhaps if you have a look around Tara, you find some lingering signs that it was here. You mentioned something strange with the weather up north. Tir Chonaill experiencing an unseasonable chill. Was it? I can't say we had anything like that around here. Also, I would have seen a few more woolen coats in the city. When the weather turns cold, I have to ease up on the drilling the soldiers. Plenty of exertion and working up a sweat is well and good, but not when the icy winds will blow through and rob a man of every ounce of warmth. The best troops are the ones that are fighting fit, and then that means staying in good health. Thankfully, there's been no such wintering weather here, so I've been having everyone run sprints in full armor. Beyond that, all seems to be well in Tara. I wish you the best in your investigation. You learned that giant animals appear in the city of Tara. See if you can find any signs that will allow you to track the beast or certain its whereabouts. Man, this quest has a lot of dialogues. No, don't talk to him. I'm debating whether I should call it a video. I feel like it's been going long enough. But I'm not sure at what part that I leave for a bit, you know? But I guess we'll see. There's also an unconscious cat. The one church guy will be upset about that. Yeah, I'll probably call it a video here. Anyways, thanks for watching. Love you guys. Stay safe and I'll see you next time.